Welcome back to Sports Dump, Lewis County's only sports podcast, sponsored by Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery, Global Septic, and AmeriCool Heating and Cooling. You guys want to discuss anything before we jump in?
Sounds like WFS has just about wrapped up the 2A girls title.
But before that...
Oh, come on.
Goodbye, Josh. Bye, old friend.
What Josh doesn't know is that we were all listening to that when he came in. And that's why we all just kind of went awkward stare.
I was not ready for that. I didn't know that was happening.
And I'm out.
That's
That's the end of Josh.
on the soundboard now, where it will remain. But do you want to do part 2 of your audio?
I think you can do it for me.
Josh is leaving. He's going to Seattle. He's going to work for Major League Baseball, an up-and-coming sports league. Yeah, good for him. Hold on. There we go.
I forgot we had the button for that.
Yeah. Button for everything.
But thanks for the attempted sound effects, guys.
Where did you find a Goodbye Josh song?
I Googled Goodbye Josh song, and that was what I found.
I was holding out hope that yesterday you were just like getting ready for bed, and then you found the guitar, and you were like, "Hold on,
Yeah,
let me cook."
It was just.
I thought maybe you bought a cameo or something.
It was just after he finished painting that painting that's up on the wall.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cabin
Such an artistic guy.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now we can get into WF West and whether or not they have wrapped up the 2A Evergreen Conference girls basketball title. Have they?
Yeah, pretty much.
All
Not
right.
officially, but for all
Not
intents and purposes.
A lot of excitement out of you guys about this. They stayed perfect in league play with a 78-33 win over second place Black Hills on Tuesday. So I'd say that bodes pretty well for their chances of an EvCo title. Julia Dalen scored 32, which is normal, and Dylan Beck scored 21, which is less normal, but pretty good. Those two combined to score 20 points in the first 6 minutes of the game, and then things went from bad to worse for Black Hills when Ashley Harris and Claire Johnson came down with injuries, and Dylan was there.
Yeah, this game was over in the first 6 minutes. It was 22-2. As you mentioned, Beck and Dalen had 20 of those. Just WF West doing WF West things. On the Black Hills front, Claire Johnson, talking to Herb after, should be okay. She kind of came in with a groin injury and kind of gave the thumbs up pregame, is what Herb kind of told me. And then she kind of just, I wouldn't say re-aggravated it, but more just got a little sore, so they pulled her out. Ashley Harris is a little more unknown. She went down, was kind of holding her knee at one point. She was able to put some weight on it as she came off, but I don't have an update on her. But if she is out for an extended period of time, Carmen Williams came in and did
she's
a really good job. She did as well as you can on Julia Dalen.
Yeah.
But Dalen is still going to, she had 22 rebounds, I think, too.
Pretty good.
So, even when Williams would, force a tough shot and get a miss, Dalen would just kind of hover over, grab the offensive rebound, and put it right back. So I think she could fill in nicely for Harris over this last stretch. But, yeah, it's pretty much WF West, and then Black Hills should be second if they finish the way they should.
What?
Yeah, so
go ahead.
I was just going to say, and we've harped on it over and over again, but it is really just the Dylan Beck is kind of the difference. Like, WF West did not have the secondary scorer for them last year. Even like last year, they were a almost place at state team. And even before that, when they had like Drea Brumfield, like just kind of Kyle Karnofsky's MO is, defense and slow offense. So they'd be beating teams handily. The games aren't close and they're winning, 58-20 something or 60-30. I don't think I've seen them come near 80 points before. And that really is like maybe a sign that they're taking that, next step to really true contender, that they can not just do the slow game and really, really pile the points up there.
All right. How many games remain in the league season?
Like three or
Okay.
4 or 5.
About 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Okay. All right. Elsewhere, Centralia snapped a 2-year EvCo losing streak with a 54-51 win over Rochester last Friday. They were up 18 with 10 minutes to go, and didn't give it up.
They
Although it was
tried.
close.
Did not coog it.
They did not coog it. How dare you? Brooklyn Sprague scored 17, and Michaela Chavez had 14 for the Tigers.
Good to give a shout out to Centralia. This was their first. They didn't have a league win all of last season. They won their finale 2 years ago. So, when they were going right, they looked really good. They hit like 4 threes in the first quarter, and it was they were up by like 12 after the first quarter, and 15 at halftime, and 16 at the end of the third quarter, and then it started to crack.
And then they hung on though. Good for them.
They hung on. They did.
And then they lost to Tumwater 56-22 on Tuesday. Which, Tumwater, they're not bad. So the standings, currently WF West in first at 8-0. And then a big dip. And then you've got Black Hills at 7-2. Tumwater 7-3. And then in the race for the pigtail, Aberdeen is 5-5. And Rochester's 3-7.
Yeah, Aberdeen and Rochester played each other last week, a couple days ago, and Aberdeen won that, and that was huge for the pigtail because now they've split the season series, and Rochester's 2 games behind with 2 games left. So
Okay.
Aberdeen's pretty much got that one wrapped up. Aberdeen also actually beat Tumwater. That's why Tumwater's 7-3. So I actually don't know what happens if Tumwater beats Black Hills the next time around and they both go 7-3 with a win against each other, but I'm out, so y'all can figure that one out.
There'll be a tiebreaker. They'll dust off the old document and see who owns the most pigs and therefore the most league wins.
Between
or
Tumwater
whatever-
and Black Hills.
Whatever settles it, yeah. All right, on the boys' side of the EvCo, things are a little less certain. At the moment, Tumwater is in first at 8-1, while WF West is second at 6-1, and Black Hills is in third at 6-3. Well, Shelton at 4-4 looks to be the front runner for the pigtail. How has WF West only played 7 games?
I don't know. Remember, they had like
9 days off.
They had like 9 days off, and that was after a non-league game. They had like 12 days off from league play, and they just didn't have any reschedules.
Okay. The Bearcats just beat Black Hills 62-48 in Thurston County last night. Tyler Klatouche had 15, Parker Eiswald 14, Lucas Hoff 11, and Grady Westland 9. And Josh was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts? They looked really good down low, and this was, I think, the first time I actually got to talk to Chris White after a game, and you lose Soren Dalen, and you think you're like, there's a lot to replace down low, and they dominated Black Hills in the post. It was Klatouche was consistent, and Hoff hit a couple threes, but Parker Eiswald scored, I think, 10 points in 5 minutes in the second quarter, which put WF West ahead, and then Grady Westland scored 6 points in 2 minutes in the third quarter. They had like 15 second chance points, just a ton of offensive rebounds. Almost everything was down low, and they were getting good looks and making them. So good sign for them.
And Tumwater beat Shelton 2 nights in a row and then beat Centralia last night. So is it safe to say they've recovered from that bout of seasickness that overtook the team? Where they were all,
I would say so.
they had
Now
all,
they got
they had all turned green.
Oh yeah. Hope everyone likes the as Aaron put Wicked Witch of the East photos
Got
for
Shrek.
the filter. Yeah.
Shrek nerd.
So yeah,
but yeah.
Lightroom is a magnificent place that I'm still learning how to navigate.
All right. Anyway.
He's just a reporter, man.
Tumwater ahead, and Tumwater beat WF West, and the first time around they play Friday. That's kind of a big one. And then like the wild card in that is, remember, the Black Hills beat Tumwater the first time around, so that kind of, it's not quite as clear cut as 2 teams going for first place
Okay.
down the stretch.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. This podcast brought to you by Global Septic, providing septic service and portable sanitation for Thurston, Lewis, Mason, Cowlitz, and Grays Harbor counties. Global Septic offers septic pumping, septic inspection, and septic riser installation, commercial septic pumping, grease trap services, and as always, they will rent you a porta potty and a sink to go with it. Visit globalseptic.com. That's GOEBEL septic.com, or give them a call at 360-736-2167.
What's a septic riser?
I don't know, man.
It's something that you can get at Global Septic.
Yeah.
Well, you got the laptop. I thought you might.
You want me to look it up
Yeah.
while you talk about the
Yeah.
C2BL?
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah,
Pull it up.
Jamie, look that
It
up.
looks like that.
Okay.
It makes your septic go up, doesn't
That
that?
does.
You don't want.
Makes your septic rise.
Okay. When you're in a porta potty, you don't want the septic stuff to rise.
Don't know.
Shout out this dude on Reddit who put a riser kit on his 40-year-old septic tank. So
Sweet.
Look at that.
on the plumbing thread of Reddit.
All right. And meanwhile, in the C2BL, on the boys' side, it is still Napavine versus the Field. They're 1 win away from a C2BL league title after beating Tudor Lake 64-47 on Wednesday. It was a 2-point game early in the second half. Then Napavine went on a 19-4 run and pulled away. They shut down Zach Swanson, holding him to just 9 points, while James Gross scored 29 to move within 33 points of 2,000. I like how we've just invented this
Hashtag
countdown
gross,
to 2,000.
gross watch.
It's. Are you going to do like a Y2K scare pun headline? Don't forget to shut off your laptops. James Gross hits 2,000 tonight.
We'll see if Josh gets to see it because they play Friday at Toledo. But then they also, after that, they host Adna next week. So it's like,
2 big games.
is he going to get 33 in Toledo?
It would not
Or are they
surprise
gonna
me if
wait
they
until he
pull
does
him
it
at
next
32, so he can hit it at home for Zadna to open the game. It really wouldn't. I
just like how
I think that's what the scriptwriters have it as. Anyway.
Zach Swanson hit 2000, went into the season on 1997, so he hit like a 3, I think, in the first like minute of their opener, and they stopped the game. Just imagine like Adna versus Napavine, and it's just like
30 seconds.
off the tip gets a layup.
Stop the game. Stop the game. Do you think they'll stop the game for
confetti.
that?
They should.
If it's at home,
Hell
I
no.
think they will.
I think
I don't know if
2,000 is
Toledo will.
acceptable.
I mean, I've seen them stop the game for 1,000.
Have they?
Yeah.
You think
I
they got
feel
like
was,
a-
it, was it also for James Gross?
You think they got like a poster ready to go for him?
I hope so.
I saw
It's
that WFS kid had one for like 1,000.
It's the first
Oh,
time
Katush
it's
had one,
happened
yeah.
in
Yeah.
like 20 years here. So.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It would be cool because they are going to be on. They're going to be in Toledo on Friday, and Toledo is the home of the last Lewis County player to hit
Well, we think
2,000 points. We're pretty sure.
probably.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I loved how Chris Banish was the first one who's to send me a list.
Oh, he sent me the same list, and I was like, "Wow, why does Banish have this?" And
Yeah,
I was like,
I
"Oh,
wonder-
right,
I wonder,
he's on it."
I wonder why he knows this. Also, speaking of Swanson's, note on that game, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but Jordan Nalen actually broke the news that Eric Swanson is retiring after the season.
Oh, really?
So he's been there for 35 years or something like
I
that.
think it said 33.
33.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
That
he's
would make
looked like a drill instructor for all of them.
Yeah, he has looked the same for as long as I can remember. That will, I think, make Rex Stanley the longest tenured C2BL basketball coach.
Yeah.
It should, anyway. All right. So, yeah, Napavine remains good, and James Gross remains scoring those points. Meanwhile, Morton White Pass is still fighting for the 7th seed at the district tournament. They came away with their first league win over Winlock on Wednesday. They just got their first league win, and they're still in the race.
Isn't it great?
Love it. Judah Kelly scored 36 points in 3 quarters and change. Tony Belgiorno added 20 along with 8 rebounds. And despite what the WIA standings say, Morton White Pass is currently in the 7th and final spot. I feel like Morton White Pass has had like 9 games this year where somebody approaches 40 points, and yet they just got their first league win.
I think Kelly
They just have
tied the
played a
record
non-league
earlier.
schedule that is conducive to scoring a lot of points.
That's
I
good
think
for
he
them.
hit 41 earlier this year and tied the record.
They're like the 80s Denver Nuggets.
And then Kevin Dunlap, he told Kelly straight up, he's like, all right, you got till the 5-minute mark of the 4th to try to get 41 or 42. And got close, but he'll take 36, I guess.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's see. Both Adna and Rainier have gone 1-1 this week. Rainier beat Ani 64-38 Wednesday, and Adna beat Kalama on Monday. And then Rainier are now tied for 3rd in the C2BL standings, 1 win back of Wakayakum. Wakayakum's in 2nd? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
beat, who'd they beat? Rainier? Adna.
They beat
Adna
Adna
this week.
yesterday. Apparently, it was a really good game.
Wow, all right.
And Adna is still working on about 1.5 Salmis on the court.
Mm-hmm.
Braden's coming back slowly. He had a bit of a hang up, but
Bit of a hangover?
that is not what I said.
Just making sure. So the C2BL standings, Napavine and Wakayakum are in 1st and 2nd. They both, if that holds out, they will have buys in the first round of districts. Then we got Rainier, Adna, and Tudor Lake all at 7 and 3, while Toledo is 6 and 4. And then we go down to the number 7 spot. What the hell? Morton White Pass is 1 and 7. Kalama and Onalaska are both 1-8.
And one of those teams gets a district spot.
You know what? That's awesome. They could shock a Pacific League team.
They don't, because the C7 plays the C3 in the first
Oh,
round.
that's right. So
Yeah.
we'll have to go play a Rainier or an Adna or a Tootle Lake.
Good luck.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I guess, well, there's not really any chance for them to move up to that 6 spot, is there?
Not really.
All right. Meanwhile, in the C2BL girls, it is still pretty crowded up at the top. Adna, Nabvine, and Rainier are all just doing the Spider-Man,
No.
pointing at each other, doing a little meme. They've all got one league loss, and yet Rainier basically can't win because of how the schedule is laid out. So Adna 10-1, Nabvine 10-1, Rainier 9-1.
Yeah, so, but because Adna and Rainier get to play a second time, if Rainier beats Adna, they would have a tiebreaker over Adna, having beaten them twice because they beat them last time,
Yes,
which will move them into a tie with Napavine.
but Nabvine has a tiebreaker over them
Exactly.
because they beat
And
them
they
in the
do not
one
play a
time.
second.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if Napavine wins, then Rainier would have 2 league losses,
So they would be
so
third.
they wouldn't go into a tiebreaker.
What a catch-22. That's yeah.
I was talking to Brandon Eigerbrod about this, and he thought it wasn't perfect. As a matter of fact,
I
we were
can
like, I'm not
understand
sure if it's better than the league games that aren't league games, but it's definitely not a whole lot better if it is.
All right. So it sucks that one of those 3 teams is not going to have a first round bye.
That too.
Onalaska came away with a big win on Monday, topping Toledo 34-27. A lot of points in that one, huh?
Oh yeah.
The Loggers are now tied at the MWP for the number 7 seed, and they'll face off tonight in a match that may determine who gets into districts. The standings are a little more reasonable. 4 through 8 in the girls' side. Tootle 7-4, Toledo 5-6, Kalama 3-5, MWP 3-6, and Onalaska is 3-6. Who do you guys think is going to get that one?
We'll see
Who's
tonight.
going to be the odd team out?
We'll see tonight.
Okay, bold.
Yeah.
I'll go on a limb and say I think Ani will maybe slip in there at the 7.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, you can make a bold prediction. You'll never be back to
True.
have to fess up to
I
it.
think. Well, obviously, I think whoever wins tonight between.
Goodbye, Josh.
Should I just leave now? Obviously, I think whoever wins tonight between Ani and MWP gets in. I would pick both of them to get in over Kalama. Let's be bold.
All right.
Go Lewis County.
I like that. This podcast brought to you by Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery. Josh, at your slick new pad up in Seattle, how's the furniture?
I was going to
look?
go the other way. For once, people don't go to Elam's. If you need furniture, I've got furniture that I got to get rid of by this time tomorrow.
By this time, you really pushed it to the last second, aren't you?
Just leave it outside with a free sign.
Yep.
Someone will pick it up.
Yeah, Cody's like, yeah, what's your address again?
I've offered.
He tried. I told him no.
You offered me some too.
Everything you need you can find at Elam's Home Furnishings, located at 1530 South Gold Street in Centralia. Everything you need for your living room, your bedroom, your dining room, your entertainment center, some accents for that beautiful couch or love seat you've got, and for the office. I painted the pictures on the walls here, but if I hadn't,
But you got your inspiration when you were at Elam's.
I did.
that
Yeah, I
correct?
was
Yes.
like, man, I could make that at home, and it was art. But nothing else. Everything else I would buy from Elam's.
We were so inspired by the furniture at Elam's that we couldn't even stand to look at that white plastic table that I was chilling with for a while. We got rid of
Had
it.
to get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Visit elamshf.com to check out everything they've got. And moving on to
Everything else.
everything else. 1A boys. Tenino beat Hoquiam 60-54 on Wednesday. Noah Scow scored 29. Jack Burkhart and Austin Gagne each had double-doubles. Tenino is a half game up on Elma for first in the Evergreen, although they have to play it once more. That's pretty good for Tenino.
Yeah, I think, having Jack Burkhart back and healthy for them is just absolutely massive. And that's going to be the difference between them last year and them this year. And I think they got a good shot at going on a run, even into state.
All right. I got to look something up. Do one of you guys want to take the 1B boys section?
Sure,
real
the
quick?
1B boys, which has 8 teams, and 7 of them go to district, which is just the best when you think about it.
Yeah.
As somebody who's not going to have to cover that district tournament, and also remember, as somebody who's not going to, I can just say it's incredible how the way it works is that so 7 teams go through, 3 through 7 have to play 2 games to go through to play the second place team, and then the first place team gets a bye all the way to the semifinals, which it's just great, and there are no notes at all. Anyway, Nacel's in first, Mossy Rock's in second. Nacel's a game ahead of Mossy Rock. Mossy Rock's a game ahead of Valley in third. Valley is a game ahead of Adventist in fourth, and PL's a half game behind Adventist. They're on a bit of a run, but they have to play 3 of those teams in their last 3 games, which is a little tough.
Okay.
So we shall see. Oakville is undefeated in coastal play, but nobody's ever called their scores in, and I looked up, and they haven't cracked 107 yet. So
yeah, are they
even
really having
playing?
a season?
Yeah, exactly. And then the girls, Mossy's undefeated. They're good. PL's actually on a really hot streak. They're 6-2, so they have as many wins as Mossy, just also losses. And they also have to play 3 of the best teams in the league, so we'll see if it holds up. But again, finishing second in the CVL is huge. Finishing anywhere between 3rd and 7th, it really doesn't matter where you fall in there, which is a little rough.
All right. This podcast brought to you by AmeriCool Heating and Cooling. Your comfort is their business. They provide full-service HVAC installation, services, and repairs with a 100% satisfaction guarantee on everything they do.
Just like us.
I thought you were going to click the button and play Goodbye Josh again. Visit west.americooonline.com to learn more. That's pretty good. It's not the button I like, though.
It's the button I like. It's the first button I ever hit.
Yeah, that's true. You can also call their 24/7 emergency service line if you are either too hot or too cold or too lacking in hearing inside Josh play through your headphones. But yeah, 360-996-5806 is that emergency service line, and west.americooonline.com is where you can find them on the internet. Speaking of on the internet...
Oh, God.
The WIAA announced a big change yesterday to the Spring State Championships. Have you guys seen this? Have you heard about this?
Splitting them up.
Yeah, starting next spring.
In case you didn't want to take 3 trips to Yakima, you could now take 4 trips to Yakima.
Absolutely. Week 1 will be the week before the traditional spring tournament week, which is Memorial Day weekend, and that will include golf, fast pitch, and tennis. And then week 2 will be baseball, track and field, and soccer. So, yeah, they've got the country club sports in week 1, and then the farm kid sports in week 2.
The Adna softball team just loved you saying that.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys? Good idea? Bad idea?
I don't know. Look,
Yeah,
I think
talk,
it's a good
talking
idea.
to the mic, Cody.
Sorry. I think it's a good idea looking from like the WIA standpoint, because when you have schools that are in like multiple places, like just looking at where Adna was last year, they're going to sell way more tickets because everyone can go to one thing one weekend and then another thing the next weekend. They don't have to split up. That's just the first thing I thought of is like why they would do that.
Do you think there's any families with kids that would be playing baseball and softball and they're like, you know what, we're only making 1 trip, so you just get on the bus, call us and tell us how your game went?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, some of the commenters are really worked up about it. They want more changes. They want less changes. They're
the people
very
mad about
unhappy.
it, or?
Yeah.
Someone
It
is
seems
asking
like-
how it impacts AP exam schedules,
That's a
Yeah.
good question.
stuff like that.
It's kind of close. Yeah, it's kind of close to the end of the school year. If
Um,
you fail your AP exam, you don't play in the state championship.
It also makes it it'll make it weird because that means that the softball state tournament is like the same week as the opening round for baseball, whereas last year was the same time as the district tournament for baseball.
yes.
So it means that
Facts.
like
Regionals, yeah.
like last year, at least for journalists, it's pretty bad. Just because it's more travel, and like last year we could cover the district tournaments. Like the district tournament, the 2B district softball tournament happened at Borst at the exact same time that Tumwater was playing a regional baseball game at Wheeler Field. So that was like easy. Whereas now one of those is going to happen while somebody else is in like Yakima, which makes it a little more challenging.
I like to travel.
Yeah.
Do you like
I'll
to
be
be
there.
2 places at once?
Of course.
Well, your face doesn't because it is staying as far away as it can from that microphone, big guy.
Damn. Come on, man. Turn my mic up or something. You little control
Mr.
board.
Soundboard.
Yeah. Quit pressing goodbye Josh buttons and do your job.
No. This guy's upset about wrestling and wants to change there, which, like, buddy, there's a time and a place for that.
And it's
it is
not the spring sports. Yeah.
Somebody has some hot takes about tennis needing to be in the middle of the week, like golf to not interfere with regionals. Like, out of the 6 sports they mentioned here, like, I think tennis has the least number of people who are like, oh, you're right. How about we stop doing the state track championships at Tacoma? Total crap that people on the east side have to constantly travel. And then somebody's like, you realize half the state does it at Tacoma and the other half are in Yakima, right?
Also, could we stop, like, real talk, can we stop doing anything in Yakima the last week in May when there's thunderstorms every day?
Well, that's only happened like twice in the last 20 years.
Okay.
Or like the flash flood that occurred in Ephrata on the day of the state championship.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun.
And that pushed the title
The
game back
lightning
to like
storm.
9 p.m.
In
Yeah,
Yakima.
it started like 10 p.m.
Yeah, that was fun. And then classifications. WIA redid their
Oh,
classifications.
yeah, that was a thing. Rochester's
many-
going down. Mossy going up. Winlock's playing 11-man football.
Really?
Rochester's going down, 1A?
Winlock's playing 11 man?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Who are they going to play?
Oh, they're
All the
11 man.
C2BL teams?
The commenters were heated about this too, as you can imagine. A lot of arguments about private schools and
Wah.
districts hiding players,
Wah.
things of that nature.
Josh
Maybe out of
gets to be
5A
mean now.
class. No. Hilarious watching everyone freak out over what class their schools are, like any of it really matters in the state anyways. Did I write this comment?
Did Yelm move?
Yes.
Yes.
They went to 4A, right?
Yes.
Did Kalama
Yes.
1A?
Yes.
Nice.
Wakaikum moved.
To 1B
Really?
because they're tiny.
That's true.
And then somebody says, Cheatwater finally go up to 3A. And I said, that is a stretch.
Did they go to 3A?
No, they're
No.
not close.
Wow.
They manipulate the numbers to stay under the threshold while
They built
bringing
a
kids
they
from
built
other
a second
districts
school
in.
across the highway so they wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Duh.
That's
Like,
how it works.
Yeah.
Ryland isn't there fighting the good fight, telling everybody that if you think they're
shut up.
recruiting, you should send the info you have on that to the WIA because it is illegal and nobody has agreed to do so yet. Anyway,
Well,
classifications.
because they go to the one school that doesn't take transfers because they're pure, honest souls who would
Yeah.
never stoop to doing anything like that.
I go to a nice private school where nobody transfers out.
I go to a public school where all of our players definitely grew up here.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, classifications are different.
Just live with it, people.
Transfer portal, man. It's hard. It's our
Let the
new
school
age.
who has never benefited from a transfer player
I
cast
liked
the first
I liked looking
thumbs
it up.
down emoji.
I looked up because and the numbers are public record, like they're on the WIR website, and I just
Yeah.
like Tumwater is not close to the threshold, and you could say they're manipulating their numbers, but they're like 70 kids off of the cutoff, which is behind multiple other schools in District 4. They're the biggest school I think in the EvCo, but like Ridgefield is like 5 kids under the threshold, and Columbia River is like 20. I looked up Linden, which is actually like the most successful program in the state.
They're probably low, aren't they?
They're so low. They're like in the bottom half.
Yeah.
It's almost like the amount of kids you have doesn't. Never mind.
Go out
yeah.
swinging, Josh.
It's okay. Yeah. You're gone tomorrow night, anyways.
Let's see. This is the last installment of Josh's last good games coming up. So tomorrow night's games. Adna at Rainier. Boys, girls,
tomorrow
doubleheader.
is like a packed day of like act. Like
That
we
does
need,
look like a good game.
we
Not
need,
to be confused with last week's last good games.
Yeah,
coming up.
it's two good games. It's because Adna Rainier is boys and girls, and both of those have like huge stakes.
Which one's going to be closer?
I mean,
Girls.
The girls game was 3 points the first time around. The boys game was 20 points the first time around.
Okay. But,
It's in
Okay.
Rainier.
yeah. All right, well, tough place to play.
Dylan, you
Well,
going
you
to that one?
usually
I believe
shave
so.
about 15 or you shave about 8 3-pointers off of Adna's total when they don't play at home.
Yeah. Everybody knows you got the wider rims in Adna.
Oh, they're bendy.
Yeah.
true.
They always have had loose rims.
No, this is Salmi got a new one. They like literally bend. It's not that they're loose. A couple years ago, I remember when he put them in.
You were there supervising.
Like,
Like,
what?
looks
No,
good.
I helped him install them.
Wow, look at you.
That's not a roof.
Yeah. We've also got Napavine at Toledo boys. Is this just in there because maybe James Gross scores 33?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Tumwater at WF West boys.
Probably
Basic-
decides the EvCo.
Yeah, basically for the EvCo.
Is Tumwater bringing their entire student body of 7,000 students?
Could.
Mossy Rock at PL doubleheader. Girls 5:30, boys at 7.
Yay, 1Bs.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah.
And then Monday, we've got a non-league matchup, Montesano at Adna Girls.
It's interesting.
Yeah, could be. Tuesday, we got some Swamp Cup, WF West at Centralia boys basketball. Adna Napavine boys, that should be a good one. Elma at Tenino boys, is that for the league title?
That's basically the league title in the EvCo.
Nice. And then Tumwater at Black Hills, boys, girls, doubleheader. Girls at 6, boys at 7:45. Who do we like in that one? A lot of
I'll go Tumwater boys, Black Hills girls.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really depends on quite literally who shows up for the girls' game, like who's healthy, because those are just two teams that have had to deal with injuries a lot this year.
So are they just like redoing the doubleheader they did earlier in the season?
Yeah.
Is that Black Hills?
Black Hills won both of those. The boys is interesting just because like the Tumwater boys, they did the thing again against Centralia where they won by like 20 and nobody scored more than 8 points or something like that. So they're just like all team in depth, whereas Black Hills has Simon Neisted scoring 25 points sometimes and Jack Ellison scoring 30 points. So kind of clash of styles there.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happens, you will not see it on Twitter because holy crap, there's no service there at all.
Black Hills?
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's how I feel about Napavine. I gotta like walk outside.
Yeah.
You're going to have to walk outside when James Gross breaks 2,000. Missed the entire third quarter to post a video.
Breaking news 4 hours ago because this tweet never sent. James Gross hit. What
I did
tweet
that. I had
at 1 in the morning.
Yeah, I was trying to tweet like a final score and I had to walk all the way to the football field. I had to leave the gym, leave the school, turn left, go across the parking lot to find enough service.
Was it yesterday your like in Black Hills tweet, like the game start tweet didn't send until like 8:45?
Yeah, I know. I stopped for gas and it sent when I was at the truck stop south of Tumwater.
Anything else you guys want to discuss before we call this one? Josh, what's your favorite memory of working here over the last year?
Oh,
however long?
It's the sports dump with you.
Oh, you're such a liar.
Yep,
it was the news dump, wasn't it?
What's the best game you covered?
Oh God, I don't know. It's probably the Tumwater North Kitsap triple overtime game in the boys state tournament. But that's just because I'm a massive Thurston County favorer and had to pick that. The Adna Rainier girls basketball was also really good. Fun times.
Nice.
All right. With that, we're going to close out. We are sponsored by Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery, Global Septic, and AmeriCool Heating and Cooling. Tune in next week where we reveal who the new sports editor is.
Oh, let's go.
Play the song one more time. Come on.
Thanks, everybody.